Hello, everyone. Aradhana Tewari from Be the Change by Aradhana. I'm the founder of the Be the Change page, and I'm here today for Be the Change, yet another talk show with an amazing, yet amazing celebrity guest. So, would let you know more about it. And before that, I just wanted to know what the space is. Somebody today just asked what this space is all about. So, this space just invites you to empower you and to let you know, and you are here to share your gifts in the world as you, not anybody else, and you don't have to shift change as per others requirement. You can be you and you can change the world, and you definitely know something special which you haven't yet shared, but a lot of people have had the courage to come share their world. So they have that and capacity of never giving up, never giving, never quit, and then they follow their heart and they follow their courage, and they really bring a change to the world. So I love inviting such celebrities onto the space. For me, each one of them is a celebrity because they had that courage to follow their heart. So I invite them every Sunday here to talk about their lives. It's like behind the camera scene. So what all they are doing, what how they actually made what they made, and what never made them stop. So to be them. So today I have a very amazing a friend of mine and a guest, actor, the producer, the entrepreneur Raman Trikha as a guest of our today's episode. Raman started his journey as an actor with ZTV after doing multiple television shows. He moved into the working with Tamil cinema. Raman has been a part of music videos too, with top singers from the country. Then on the progress to working with Bollywood and international cinema. So welcome along with me to Raman. Raman, can we have you here? Yes, so thank you, Raman. Thank you so much for this
Hi,
segment.
hi.
How did our
Pleasure is
talk
all
shows
mine.
get so lucky? I mean, I have always been saying everybody's a celebrity. You are a true celebrity anyway, which is in every sense. But yes, for me, it's a level apart of being a celebrity because you have that courage of keep going who you be, what you be. So I mean, everybody knows about you, and I remember having hots for you when I saw you for the first time in my serial.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can I just meet? And I can't believe I'm today having this talk show with you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for this.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. So I will let you start your journey from your childhood, as you're from very much in Delhi, from my city, which is like, and you started your schooling from modern Vasant Vihar. So I would let you start the story of your life, your journey, how you started and how you wanted to become an actor and how you were supported from the family. And then from there on, I'll take further.
I mean, it's like anybody's dream come true. You know, out of uh, we are densely populated country, and there are very few people who make a mark of themselves. You know, so I've been very fortunate. One of them who pursued, who dreamt, who who made a step, took a step. The initiative, and then landed up uh, being part of such great movies with great makers. So I completely say I'm blessed. Without that, nothing moves. Uh, as I'm a Delhiite, you know that I did my schooling from Don Bosco till 10th, and 11th, 12th I was in modern Vasant Vihar. So I proudly say I'm a modernite when I pass out.
Love.
And I always wanted to be an actor. As far as I remember, from class say sixth, seventh, I developed the interest in dramatics. I started taking parts in school, whatever little used to happen, and be very proactive in that. And one thing really changed my the whole concept about being an actor. Was there was a series called Lehre,
Yeah.
where they used to show behind the scene the working, and I was completely hooked by those. You used to have those VHS cassettes that
Yes.
time. I'm talking about say
Nine.
late 80s,
Yeah.
beginning 90s. And I used to be really in awe of the whole thing, how these guys do the stunts, the songs, and I used to create my own storyboard about it. And that really got me hooked on to getting into this field.
Oh,
And the major credit goes to my parents. And I mean, if you come up in 90s and tell your parents that you want to be an actor, leaving everything aside, uh, I'm sure if anybody else would have been in my parents' place, they would have whacked the hell out of him. But my parents were very supportive. They said, if you want to pursue this, We give you all the opportunities and give your best shot.
Wow.
And I was really taken aback by this decision. And that's how I, after my schooling, I landed up, I planned to go to Bombay, and I landed up being in Bombay and not knowing anybody over there.
You mean you
And
didn't go through any hardships at all? This is so boring, Raman.
no,
Like,
no,
I'm just
see,
laughing.
hardship, Aradhana, see, everybody has to go through.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
I don't want to glorify the whole thing. It's a basic struggle of survival. When you land in Bombay and when you don't know anybody and you don't know how to go about it, the first thing you do is you enroll yourself in a course where you feel that you learn acting, you know. So that was the first thing I did, which whatever I had read, or I had gathered information that if I want to be an actor, I should be trained first. So whatever little I did in Delhi through in school was of no help. So basic, whatever grooming you require, I enrolled myself in a Roshan Taneja classes. When I landed in Bombay, I met a couple of people there who were already, doing theater, who were already a name, but they had just enrolled to polish their craft. So that was the beginning, basically.
Oh.
But then actually the hardship started after that. When you don't know anybody, it becomes very difficult. And when I went, trust me, newcomers were not given breaks the way, the kind of opportunities you have now, with the OTT, with the television, with so many channels, with so many movies being made. So imagine in 90s, when I landed in Bombay, there were very few movies being made and there was only one channel, Doordarshan.
Right.
So, I mean, you had to slog your way up, get an opportunity to be seen, and then given a break. So
Did it take,
another,
can we talk a little bit about the process of how do you get into that, and what is it like? What do you really have to stand like how you see in the movies
oh
outside?
yes, I
Yeah.
have traveled in local trains. I've gone for auditions. I've been rejected. Trust me. I mean, if today anybody calls me for an audition, I'll fail because I'm very bad in auditions. The reason being is I'm very conscious about to prove a point that you want this job. See, a look test is different, and being auditioned for a scene and then being approved is a different thing.
Wow.
So for me, when they used to call me for audition, I used to be very conscious, and I'm still very conscious.
Are
You
you
know,
like after being on the camera, you're still conscious?
the reason is then people are very judgmental about when they call you for an audition. But when it's for a look test, see, both the things are same. But एक mental block होता है ना कि आप audition आके दे दीजिए. तो आप audition दे रहे हो to please somebody and to get approved by them,
Wow.
and then to land up doing that job. So you're always very conscious. But if it's a look test, now you're into the character, you just do your bit and you're out.
Wow.
So it took me a long time to, get adjusted to this, and I was rejected in all the auditions. Trust me, whatever I did for ad films, that's the reason why I have not done too many ad films, because I was outrightly rejected one and all. They are
You got
like
to get conscious.
conscious or whatever, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
I never used to feel comfortable. But then I was picked up by Hemant Trivedi, the designer, the ace designer. He's the one who brought confidence back into me. I started doing his ramp shows. I started doing his press shoots. And he was my first, teacher in Bombay. And when you land up being part of such a big designer, so you automatically gain some confidence. And he was a tough taskmaster. He used to, whack the daylight out of your thing if you never used to perform well, if your walk was not perfect, if your presentation, if your clothes were not proper. So, and he was a good teacher initially. And from there, I was fortunate that ZTV came up. And again, I was called for auditions, and I landed up. And the role which really gave me fame, I had completely lost hope, because I auditioned 4 times for that particular character called Rahul Seth. And in third and fourth, I had given up. I
Wow.
said, यार ये time waste करते हैं, बुला बुला के लाइनें बुलवाते रहते हैं और लेते हैं नहीं. Third and fourth audition, I swear on God, I just did a favor to them. कि
Wow.
boss, आप लो, खत्म करो और मत बुलाओ मेरे को दोबारा.
See, you were not conscious. You were not like you didn't buy the judgment.
Exactly. That is what I'm trying to tell you. So I just did it. I read the scene. I understood the situation, and I said, "Yeah, khatam karo." And they like that, carefree, footloose kind of an attitude, and that got me Banegi Apni Baat. And
Wow.
then from there, my journey started. My struggle started because when you land up doing a show of that magnitude, which
Yeah.
becomes such a big success, which I'm shocked. Like when you say, okay, you had Hots for Me, and
Yeah.
people like you still remember that show.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say, because actually when you're working,
Yeah.
you don't realize how big the show has become.
Exactly. And
You're
it's amazing how we and looking at those work, and I think looking at your media world, I've always acknowledged when I started, all this with myself. I mean, it was like I always felt कि कहीं तो पहुंचेगा, कोई तो देखेगा. So like it's like we remember the moment I saw you, like, oh my God, I have been hearing, oh my God, how come here, and
so
it's been ages then and now,
ages.
right?
I
And
mean,
but your
people
work
still
never
say,
goes waste.
but I feel very humbled about it, and I'm just saying I'm blessed if I've done something so many years back and people still remember and people still relate to my work. So I feel the whole credit honestly goes to the team, which is Tony and Dia Singh,
Yeah.
and Shuttapa. Shuttapa is Irfan Khan's wife. She
Okay.
was the writer of the show, and Tony and Dia Singh were the people who conceptualized, directed, and created a show called Banegi Apni Baat. So the whole credit goes to them, and they took out the best from us. The best. I mean, they were literally like our teachers in school, grooming us, guiding us,
Oh,
telling us how to, when to, where to, and what to. And that left a mark, till today people remember that show. It's purely their effort. I was just an actor told what to do, and I did my bit, and people loved it.
but I just love this part of you, like, how when we're not vested and we're off the judgments, our world can change in such a drastic way. But, here you were buying the judgments, and it's the world is always like, we always say it's greener, the grass is greener the other side. But we were like, look at you guys, I'm like, so easy for them, no? I mean, they can just have a role and do it. But I'm sure judgment hits everybody. It doesn't see that you're an actor or not an actor. So, yes, guys, judgments is like a big thing. So wonder what lives can change if you really do not if you have a world free of judgments, where you're not judged and you're right and wrong, like all that, and always in that right and wrong. But I'm sure that you went through this journey and it's been tough. I know it was easy with you were lucky that you had a backup with your parents and everything. But of course, when you struggled so hard and going the trains and stuff, and like giving up, what was that one thing that you kept telling to yourself that not to give up? And was that a passion? What was that?
I would say passion.
Mm-hmm.
That's the driving force, and the attitude of never say die. See, I've been a sportsman all my life. When I was in Delhi, and this spirit of falling and getting up and then running and completing the race. So that attitude really got me, grounded in Bombay, that I don't have to go back. I have to prove something or the other, whatever it may take, however long it may take. I think that really got me to where I am today. Otherwise, I mean, people who started with me, who were with me, uh, they left halfway through because some or the other pressure got them and they had to quit. So there were a few people who've been my inspiration, who started with me and who made a mark. For example, Irfan Khan, late Irfan Khan, he started from Banegi Apni Baat, and he's been my inspiration. I've seen his work, I've loved his work, I've learned a lot from him. Then R. Madhavan was also a part of Banegi Apni Baat. He has done fantastic work, and he's still doing excellent work. So these are my inspirations, these are my role models. Like, these guys are still doing fantastic work, and there's plenty of work. You just got to be focused, and you got to be planted and be there. Uh, to be around. You can't just say call it quits. So I
Right.
think that's one of the reason why I still feel happy about it. Whatever little I do,
Yeah.
it's out of choice. I'm very choosy. The kind of work I want to do, I'm very particular about the environment where I want to or whom I want to work with. It's just the attitude which has, that's the reason why I've done very limited work. But whatever I've done, I'm very proud of it.
Correct.
And God has been very kind that He has given me the opportunity to pick and choose. I mean, and the kind of work which is happening, which is fantastic right now, the kind of exposure we have uh, of the West, the kind of content which is coming and available for everyone and anyone to see, and the kind of content being developed is par excellence. So it's just you have to be, focused about
So
how and what you want to.
people say media is very scary. It looks glamour. It's not that glamour, but then definitely glamour does affect everybody of us who watch the Bollywood, who watch this Hollywood, or we watch the television media or the ad world. So what would you like to say to the people who are the newcomers who would be like, is interested and have that passion, but you, as you said rightly, that a lot of people did come back, they lost everything, and there must be people who lost a lot of stuff and their
Yeah.
life and stuff for
Yeah.
and money and stuff. So what would you like to say around that?
See, media is a very powerful tool when it comes to our profession. It can make you or break you. But there are a lot of people you got to learn how they conduct themselves, how they go about it, or how they use media to their advantage. There are
That
umpteen examples,
yeah,
be it Amir Khan, be it Shah Rukh, be it Ritik, be it anybody. I mean, you can actually take examples from these people, how they go about. Everybody has problems, controversies, ups and downs in their life. Hits and flops are part of life. Success, failure is a part of life. I mean, you can't say okay, you'll be 100% bang on, or you're going through a lean phase and it'll continue for the rest of your life. So it's just the most important thing is your mental balance.
right,
Your value system plays an important role. What values you've imbibed in yourself and how you want to go about it and how you're conducting yourself is what makes you by the end of the day.
correct.
So people come to media pressure or they lose it, due to the pressure is is not the right way. It's maybe their approach to certain things. They're not focused. There are umpteen examples. If you see,
And
be it
and how's that compared to the any other work in life? Like maybe the same struggle might be in other fields as well, like going to being an engineer, getting a job, and finding a good job and reaching somewhere in the top. Do you think there's a difference because this is just so hyped up, or is it that the same? You think because you're working both ways, right? You have your own business and you're working into media. So how's that
we are
both?
we constantly, being watched.
Yeah,
If you're
that
famous, that's the price you got to pay. That's the problem because you're constantly being watched. So you got to be you. So I mean, you need you. I mean, if you pick and choose the top stars of India, I mean, this needs and it's been written about. But I've never seen anybody conducting in a very derogatory manner or in a manner which is not pleasing to the masses. In spite of people, they're being hammered in media, hammered and butchered by media or by the so-called social media or by the masses because the access to these celebrities is much easier compared to what it was in 90s. There
right.
was not too much of Twitter happening then. There was not too much of Instagram happening then. There was not too much of Facebook happening then where you could just write any goddamn thing on a celebrity's wall and get away with it. So today you've got to face that, and if you can sail through, very dignifiedly is what makes you or breaks you.
Wow.
So there are a lot of people who kind of cannot handle, and who and are completely wiped out, and there are people who have prioritized their entire uh, work in terms of okay, this is what I do, this is how I respond, and this is what it takes to be, and they maintain that decorum. So and they sail through.
So there's a lot of projection also, like on you guys, that do you also have emotions, or you're only playing with emotions all the time? And as I was talking to you before the show, that you know how your emotional worlds are, and I know because I'm father and have been into a lot of intermedia stuff, so I know there's a sensitive touch there. But you know, people think everything is just made out. You know, you don't have emotions. Me, so you know. So could you talk more about and let the world know what it is basically? And you do have consciousness, you do have spiritualism in your world too. So can you know a little more behind the camera scene? What is the spiritual world and the
I
emotional?
mean, see, as you said, we actors are really very emotional people, no doubt about it. I mean, I can generally say that because till you're not connected with your craft, until you don't actually feel it, you'll not be able to express it, and you'll not be able to connect with the masses. See, today, if I'm known for my work, with whatever little I've done and people connect with it, it's purely because they could relate one or two or something or the other out of it. If I'm very awe of any actor, it's purely that their performances has moved me. It's not who they are, but what they have done. So actor species, I believe, are very emotional, no doubt about it. They have their mood swings. The reason being is because we are constantly being exposed to various emotions in the shortest period of time, be
True.
it happiness, be it sorrow, anything,
So you
you
live the
know.
world. So like people get one or two roles, like I'll get one or two roles in my life, or maybe four roles as a mother, as a
Yeah,
daughter, as a mother-in-law, or whatever, five, six
right.
roles in my life. But you have so many roles. So tell me one, like what is life for you? What, how do you see life when you've lived all the roles? What do you know
But
about life?
Aradhana, that is what the excitement is all about. The
Right.
reason why I'm pursuing my passion very dedicatedly and sincerely, only because I want to live those moments every now and then. And
Wow.
that's a high for me. You know, when I'm performing and I'm delivering, and that deliverance comes from the internal core of my heart, and it's been responded and accepted well, and it's been raved about, is the high what I'm here for.
Wow.
And that is what we're craving for. So that's a journey which every actor goes through. I mean, there are categories of actors who are mechanical. You know, there are categories of actors who really uh, put themselves in those situations months and months. Like Ranveer Singh, I remember he locked himself when he was playing Aurangzeb.
Yeah.
And Boman Irani does that very frequently for any character. He completely does detailing work for months before the shoot starts. So
Wow.
there are a lot of actors. I mean, people say Shah Rukh Khan is very, same or monotonous, but he's a performer. He's an actor par excellence. If you see any scene, but the character Shah Rukh Khan has a way of delivering. So it's same, but the intensity of every scene what he does, being Shah Rukh Khan, makes him Shah Rukh Khan, and he's being loved by one and all. So
So
same way Amir Khan has his own style, Hrithik Roshan has his own style. So actors have to be emotional about it, and
you're
they're
that
extreme.
emotional and you're that a celebrity. How do you guys handle? Because we can go and cry anywhere and blah blah blah. You guys are always watched.
Well,
So,
I do cry a lot if
yeah.
there's anything which is bothering me, and I just go in one corner and I just take out everything for 5-10 minutes, and I'm fresh. And I
Wow.
do cry a lot.
So,
It's not that we don't.
and do you have real friends? As we always think, do they
Oh
have
yes, yes, yes.
friends?
I've been very fortunate. I have such fantastic friends, and they've been there through my thick and thin. Whatever lows or downs I've gone through in my life, I've only come 10 times stronger because of the friends around me. If
Yeah.
I had not those kind of friends around me, I think I would have broken down or I would have called it quits long back. But since they were my motivators, they were my strength, my support. At every now and then, you need somebody to talk to who are not judgmental about you.
So
So
how
they
did
have
you know
been.
they're not judgmental? Like, was it your knowing? How did you go? How you should like make somebody friend that this person is not my friend because I'm a celebrity, or I'm so and so.
No, I've had friends before I became anything, and I've had, hello,
Yeah.
sorry, yeah, and I've had friends, after gaining success and fame, and uh, the intensity of their honesty has been there. And one thing I've always maintained, it's not their friends because I'm famous, it's because they've liked something of mine which has pulled them towards me. It's all about vibrations.
Wow, that's such a
So
beautiful,
if
beautiful.
I have to, act pricey just because I'm somebody, and I have to, so it has never worked that way. If somebody has responded well and reciprocated in a manner which I feel is he's giving more than what I deserve, I have just surrendered myself, and they like my honesty, and they've been my friends from donkey's years, and trust me, I take my friend's opinion whenever, whatever I do. There are certain friends of mine who butcher my performance. Like they'll say कि क्या बकवास काम किया है, and I go really, my morale and my confidence level goes down, and just in order to prove that they don't, I'm very conscious that at least the people I know, they should be proud of what I'm doing. So I've been very fortunate in terms of having friends in my life who've
Wow.
been, a pillar.
So as I was talking about that, how you have the journey and you've lived everybody's life, good, bad, ugly, good characters, bad characters. So what will you say about life? What is life then? Like uh, if you don't buy this reality is life, that life is tough. Some people say that life is easy.
For me,
What?
life is beautiful, and I live on daily basis. I mean, the kind of ups and downs I've gone through. The other thing, support system has to be there, and my support system has been my parents. You know, uh, I've completely been blessed in the sense that they've been there through thick and thin. They've guided me. These basic initial pillars in your life are very important for anybody to be a success or to have a balanced mind. So I think no complaints so far. As I said, I've been taught that success and failure are part of life. The more you fail, the better you'll be when you taste success. I've been taught that way. So whenever there has been a low phase or a debacle, or something has not worked the way I wanted it to be, I always thought that maybe there is much better coming if this was just a grooming ground for me to learn so that I don't make the same mistake next time. And that is what has kept me going forward.
And
And
has
life
it
is
been that
beautiful.
case? And has that been the case when you look back that yes, that was a troublesome period, and now then you moved ahead and you had a good time, and because maybe that wasn't meant for it. It's like what's right about that? Have you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, this is how my life has moved on, and I've done. I think I can proudly say that today I'm the only actor who has worked on almost all the channels. I've done show on Z. I've done show on Sony. I've done show on Star Plus. I've done show on DD Metro. I'm the only actor who's done shows on every channel, only because I was firm enough that I need to do good work, and good work came my way. And I jumped, I lapped it up. I never bothered about money. I never bothered about anything. As long as my heart said, yes, this is what I need to do, and I want to be a part of it. And I went all out,
Wow.
and I've enjoyed every bit of it.
And what is your spiritual world? What do you believe in God? What is God for you?
See, I'm a very firm believer in God. I religiously have uh, a, a travel plan throughout the year. I do visit certain places every year, not because I need to prove a point or I'm very religious or I need to show that I'm very religious. It's just that those places I feel have immense power and huge vibrations. They
Wow.
just uplift my spirits whenever I'm low and down. I just go to these places. One is Tirupati Balaji. I'm very frequent, visitor to Tirumalai. Then I go to Vaishno Devi. then I go to Shirdi, So I feel there's so much of power being so many people coming there, so much, worship happening there. So I just go and I feel enlightened. So for me, uh, I mean, without his supreme power, I don't think so anybody of us do exist. I'm very thankful. I'm blessed. Nothing moves without his,
Yeah.
blessings and till he doesn't want.
So what do you say that how's human connected to God, and like do you have that whole like you beautifully said that the vibration is so high because everybody's praying for one
Yes.
same thing, so it definitely raises your, and I so feel that too. For me, it's, I don't know if you want to put it in the universe of a God or anybody personality, but if you being that part of it, what is that story to you? If you are the part of it, so how do you feel in connected with them with your work? Is it through your work or through your meditation? What is it for you?
Uh, I would say, honestly, work, work is worship, as you say. I feel if I'm doing something which my heart says yes, I need to be part of it, and I'm giving my 100%. It's a different feeling altogether, and traveling to these places is complete enlightenment for me. I'm in a different zone. When I visit these places, for me, worship or spirituality or the place of God in my life is, I feel, this is the only thing. You're existing only because he wants you to. So you should be thankful every day for what you have on the platter by the end of the day. So I'm very fortunate, and for me, God means supreme. For me, God means everything. For me, God means that he's the one who's guiding me. It's just my inner conscious. I need to take calls within, and it'll be supported by him because it's coming from my heart.
Wow.
So as long as you're true to yourself, you'll see everything falling in place, and he's never unfair. I've
Mm.
seen God is never unfair, and I hate such people who say कि यार मेरा तो नसीब खराब है, मेरी किस्मत खराब है. I get very irritated with these lines
Yeah.
because he gives umpteen chances, he gives umpteen opportunities to you. It's just you have to pick and choose and be true to yourself in delivering. And if you are honest enough, trust me, opportunities come dime a dozen, and he's never unfair. Why would he want you to suffer?
So if you say not unfair, like a lot of people in this corona, including you, lost, family members,
Yes.
emergency. How would you say about that? And what would you like to tell to those people that how is it?
I lost my dad due
Yeah.
to corona in 2020 May. You
Yeah.
know, he lived his life, though it's very easy said and done, but I have felt that pain, and I've seen so many deaths around. My close friends, their parents, their brothers, so many in last 1 year. I've been just hearing about some or the other since I know too many people around being in this field. I'm connected. I have friends all over. So you keep getting these news, somebody. But by the end of the day, there's one thing which we need to respect, and we need to kind of accept it कि जितनी लिखी थी उतनी उसने की. Corona is an excuse, एक बहाना बना. I lost my dad. I didn't even know that our full family got corona,
Yeah.
and within 5 days, I get to know my dad is no more. And then next, after fifth day, we got tested. I turned out to be negative. My mom was positive. I had to admit her. Imagine I lost my dad, and then I'm admitting my mom to the hospital. And what I must be going through then, I would be cursing and looking up and telling God, okay, why this is happening to me. And I was under the fear that I might lose my mom also within a second. But then one has to accept, that okay, it takes time. The pain is there, because you've lost your loved one. But he lived his life, and he went in a very healthy state. He was not suffering at all. It's just that Corona happened to be an excuse for his tenure to be over and done with on this planet. And then he went on to his next journey, is
I
what
love
how
that
I took it.
allowance. I love your allowance of how and I think I am with you on that. I have always been saying
Yeah.
that everybody has chosen it, and I think everybody has a choice of doing what they want. And I think you
Yeah.
beautifully, I mean, it's amazing, when you we have those projection expectations that what a star would be. Would they know about all this world? Would they be praying? Would they have all this, But they live as equally as how we as laymen live.
Yeah, we are humans too, you
Yeah,
know.
but we forget. We make you go as God.
No,
But
no, no.
definitely. But yeah, that is so beautiful. And
It's just
I'm
the kind of work we do and we are appreciated. So people are in awe of, but otherwise, trust me, there's nothing that I don't feel what you don't feel is identical to
I mean,
human
this
feeling.
vulnerability of you is really opening so much for me and my world, and I'm sure for everybody who's listening here, that we feel we separate people and beings from us at a very different level. That probably we can never reach there. Right? We can never be with them. We can never be talking to them. And when you talk to them, it's like, hello, they're talking like me only, right? So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, that pedestal just separates you, but sometimes it's
Yeah.
like, it feels painful to me right now that like, wow, it's such an amazing world and how many separations we as beings have put in our world. So would you like to say a little more like why that thing happens in the celebrity's life of separating from the regular world? Because I totally get that space that you guys require. Of course, your followers make you the stars. So anybody who's reaching towards as a celebrity, half of them I've seen on the world have given to be a celebrity because they don't want to lose people. They say we are very alone when we go on the top there. So would you like to talk a little about the aloneness and the
In
loneliness?
my case, I see to each to his own, I mean, everybody conducts their own way. I'm completely opposite. I've never taken, any success of the project which I've done uh, to a level where I feel, oh, it's me.
Yeah,
In my case, I've always said, okay, I'm just one part of the whole success. It's a teamwork. And actually, it's a teamwork. We get the credit because you people get to see us.
correct.
But otherwise, the kind of hard work everybody does to make what we come out to be is unbelievable. I mean, if I say, okay, oh, it's because of me, it'll be very unfair on the entire team's part, be it the spot boy, be it the cameraman, be it the light boys, be it the director, the music, the clothes, the makeup. So, I mean, in totality, I'm just one bit. So I've never taken that to my head ever till today, and I hope I may not in future also. But the reason why certain actors are aloof, maybe they don't want to be too familiar, or they have their own way or method of conducting themselves, which they have kind of formed. And I've seen in my profession, people tend to be too familiar because they think you're part of their life, or just because you see them every day. And so they think, oh, ये तो अपना ही है. So एक जो बैरियर होता है और एक जो फ्रीडम का जो लाइन होती है, वो बहुत इजीली क्रॉस हो जाती है when you come across anybody known. So
Yeah.
people draw a line to that. So I've never faced any problem as such, and I've been, I have amazing friends, and I've made amazing friends throughout my journey of the work I have done over the period.
That's beautiful. So it's not scary to be on the top.
Not at all.
Right? Not at all. I
Not
like
at all.
that. Thank you for that. Because sometimes, because this morning only we were talking about being alone, and wherever nobody wants to be alone in this world. They're taking the judgments of the world because they don't want to be alone. And I'm like, it's okay to be alone. The lion always is in the jungle as alone. So, it's
I'm
fine.
not the one who can survive alone.
No, so it's like how on the consciousness basis that a lot of people give up their being a celebrity because and they do not want to follow the courage and don't have that heart to follow what they know. So very rare people do it, and I'm like, that's the invitation. This be the change
Yes,
page.
but
And
Aradhana, but I think we all work towards uh, being known,
yeah,
the kind of work we do from our work. And again, if we have to be aloof after doing, so what is the point of doing?
correct,
So
right?
in my case, it's completely opposite. If I do something, and if I'm seen around, and if people appreciate it, I go out of my way
Wow.
to get an opinion from them, whether they liked it or they didn't. There've been umpteen number of times where people have said, no, we didn't like you in that. No, you were not good. Arey, you look different. Something or the other was not up to the mark. So I take it, very positively. Okay, this is the kind of impression people have about that. So let me just kind of work towards it.
But can you ever make everybody happy, Raman? Like,
You
or is it,
can't, but obviously opinion matters. You can't just
and
put it
then
on.
whose opinion matters?
Well, I take it that way. I mean, for me, it really, anybody on the road, if somebody with a smile recognizes me, I feel happy. If somebody didn't like me and passes a nasty comment, I still take it with a smile. Okay, that's his opinion.
Right.
I mean, there's nothing wrong in it if that person doesn't like me, whatever the reason may be. But I made a difference to him or to her, that the person has noticed and taken out time to even have an opinion about me, whether it's good or bad. I've reached, and
Wow.
so I'm happy.
I love the way of you being joyful with everything,
Yeah,
negative, good. Everything is part of parcel of life, and that's such a beauty of you.
yeah.
I really love that. So, what would you like to say about to the people who don't have that courage and who are always scared of being judged? And you, as said, that had you gone through the judgment path, and today also you're scared, but you still are showing up. So, what
See,
would you like to tell to those people?
everybody has gone through this phase. Even I've gone through. But you need to develop over a period of time and overcome your fear of being rejected. See, most of the people who are not able to come out of the fear of being rejected, or being branded as a failure are the ones who get into depression, or the stress levels are so high in our industry because uh, everything is every Friday. Your life is made, or every project you do, you know, it sets a benchmark for your next work. So I believe that you need to be strong, mentally strong. You need to fine tune yourself, that whatever you do in life, it's not to please people. As long as you're happy within, and
Wow.
and you're doing it with your heart, I don't think so any opinion outside matters. As long as you're true to yourself. That's how I conduct my life. And whatever I do, if I'm true to myself, you can't please everyone and anyone. There are people who've run me down. There are critics who've said I should pack my bags and I should go back to Delhi. But I took it with a smile. Ki maybe next one, they'll tell me to come back to Bombay and do work. And it has happened with me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you need to fine tune yourself and you need to be mentally strong. So one should work towards your mental strength rather than pleasing everyone.
Do you have any specific personal tool that whenever that situation and that time comes, that tough time comes, what do you say to yourself? Like, can
To
you share
be
with our
to
viewers?
be very honest, uh, I used to speak my heart out to my parents whenever I was low or down. They've been my biggest motivators in life, and they've guided me, and I've sailed through the biggest of problems, whichever, whenever they came. That's one. Second is, if I feel really low and I feel rejected and dejected, I go to these places, the religious places, which I feel has immense power and vibrations, and I just let myself go. And I just kind of feel enlightened, and I come back after a day or two, and I'm a new person. So this has been my remedy of sailing through and getting out of these problems whenever I have faced.
Beautiful. Wow. So guys, do find something, someone, someplace where it can, that just changes your vibe, and that 10 seconds you can just change everything of yours, and never give up, never give in, never quit. What would you say to that, Raman? Never give up, never give in, never quit. And I think,
Well, you've said it all. I mean, that should be the motto of your life. I
yeah,
mean, never say die till you're actually dead, and never give up on anything. There are so many opportunities given by God. You just need to open yourself, be focused, be mentally strong, and you see you'll make a difference. I mean, and there are so many examples. For the biggest example in our industry today is Sonu Sood. I mean, there is no work. I mean, everybody's at home. But whatever little he could do, he saw, and he's putting his best foot forward in changing so many lives. It's an inspiration. So whatever little I can do around
yeah,
and feel happy and proud about, I do my way.
yeah.
So I mean, the smallest of difference and change, if you make or do, has it's a ripple effect, multifold. comes out of it.
As you rightly said, that not a smallest deed can ever go waste. It can be just
Exactly.
wherever you're vibrating with
Yeah.
that. That is beautiful. Anything else would you like to tell to the world to be the change, be the gift that they are? Because whenever they're hiding behind and not showing up, what would you like?
I can only say that be yourself, be honest to yourself. Once you are, trust me, God is never unfair. You'll have all his blessings all your life. If you're true to yourself, I mean, you'll see miracles happening around you. It has happened with me umpteen number of times. Aradhana. I can only talk about myself, and I don't want to preach
Yeah.
but I can only share my examples, what I've gone through. I've gone through lows, I've gone through failures, I've gone through rejections, I've gone through rejections, you name it. Everybody goes through in their own way. But
Yeah.
how strong you are and how balanced you are and what your value system is, that makes you last longer and that takes you places. So I've been the biggest example in terms of miracles, in terms of blessings. Whenever I feel low or whenever I feel I'm not getting the right kind of work, I just have to look around, make an effort, and the next moment is I get a project which I'm very excited about and I have something to look forward to.
Wow.
So always set goals, be true to yourself, be positive, and see the brighter side of your life and
And one
not
more
crib
step,
about your destiny.
and just one more step. That's when you think just one more
Exactly.
step.
And as you say, you keep walking,
Right?
you'll definitely cover some distance. If you're static and if you're standing and if you're hoping some miracle to happen and some lightning to come and change your life and destiny, it doesn't work that way. Even small baby steps is taking you forward in life.
Yeah.
So that's what I have done in throughout my life. Whatever little steps, whatever little work I got, whatever little excitement I could extract from the kind of projects I did, kept me going on, kept me motivated and something to look forward to the next day. And that's how I live my life.
And that creates stuff for us also, the software for us also to watch you. How does it get any better? It's a give and take at the same time, gifting and receiving. So how did
Yeah.
we get so lucky? But thank you so much, Raman, for all your time. And I think it was so inspirational. I loved every bit of it. And your how, we all have the myths around you guys and how with your vulnerability, it was so melting, so sweetly and kindly. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ran. Thank
Anybody
you.
who wants to follow, we have shared Raman's Insta links in the chat here. So you can follow. And thank you, everybody, showing up. And thank you, my team, through Sonali, Shivangi, and Umesh. Wouldn't have been possible without you all. Thank you, guys. And thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.